What's going on, guys? It's John DeYong here, and today I want to talk to you about the income I generate off Airbnb. I'll run through all of the numbers and compare them against to what you would typically earn for a 12-month lease. I would definitely classify this as active income, as Airbnb requires more than 10 hours per property per year, which is considered the maximum amount of time allocated to one property to deem it as a passive income source. However, by outsourcing as much as you can through hiring cleaners, garden maintenance, and property managers, you could turn this into a passive income stream with the minimal amount of effort required. For some context, we only started hosting on Airbnb about 9 months ago, and within the first 6 months, we quickly realized we could run this strategy on a second investment property to positively cash flow in a high capital growth area. Like we would any investment property, we treat them both as individual businesses. We understand that this is a side hustle to bring in extra income. For me personally, just the satisfaction of knowing that our investment properties are paying for themselves is enough, and anything more is an added bonus. Our journey kicked off really well. The first booking was from a couple that had finished building their dream home. However, their dream home had a cracked pipe in the slab that was causing some serious water damage. They needed somewhere to stay for 51 nights at the insurance company's expense, while the builder ripped up that slab and fixed the water damage. This was great because that nightly rate wasn't a concern to the couple actually booking the accommodation. At a nightly rate of $116 over 51 nights, the total booking value was $5,916. During that period, our total running costs was $2,890, which means we took home $3,026 of profit for our first booking. This was super exciting as we had literally just launched the previous day. And after a costly and grueling setup process from buying all the furniture, cleaning up the backyard, building a deck, it was nice to see some profit finally come through. Speaking of setup costs, we tried to save as much as we could. Our first property we actually lived in for 3 years before considering Airbnb, and we left most of our existing household items in that property for our guests, such as TVs, lamps, and nightstands. This was devastating to my wife and I once we realized that we left all of our worldly possessions behind. We felt empty, as if all the accumulated items and their associated memories had been lost. So maybe consider buying everything new when setting up for Airbnb, because it's a tax deduction too. After all of that, the total setup cost for the Airbnb to the very dollar was $12,567 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom townhouse, of which I was able to claim roughly $2,500 of tax back, and I generously calculate being able to sell all of the current contents for $2,000. So currently I calculate our initial setup costs at $8,067. So now you can see why that first booking with a profit of $3,026 was so exciting to us. It started to chip down that initial setup cost, and since then we've tracked every stay and every dollar spent. As at today, we've had an occupancy rate of 88%, spread over 18 different guests. In total, we've been booked for 238 nights at an average of $110 per night. The average income per month is $3,181, including cleaning fees, and the average running cost is $1,884, resulting in an average monthly net profit of $1,297. Now, you might be saying, what about all the cleaning and preparation that you have to do for that $1,297? Well, 18 guests over 9 months is an average of 2 cleans per month, which works out to be $649 per clean, of which we outsource 80% of the work to a cleaner whose costs are already factored into that $1,884 of running costs per month. 3 hours of work for $649 works out to be $216 an hour excluding taxes. Now that ain't a bad side hustle. So with a total net profit of $11,392 and a calculated setup cost of $8,067, our net profit to date is $3,325. The best part of all of this though, on top of the money that we've made from Airbnb, is the 9 months worth of capital growth, which at the Australian average of 6.8%, and mind you, we've had more like 13% per annum growth over the previous 3 years. But being modest at 5.1% of growth for 9 months, the value of the property should have grown by $29,580. In total, that's a profit of $32,905 over 9 months, excluding any capital gains and selling costs. Now you'll know my opinion on buying property for Airbnb over rental arbitrage, as the capital growth portion far outweighs the profit that you actually make from Airbnb. Being in the positive profit zone, we had the confidence to go out for our second investment property and Airbnb. But before we get into those details, make sure you smash that like button as it seriously helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Although I'm a huge advocate of diversification, it's hard to manage an Airbnb in another state, unless of course you outsource everything. So yes, we have technically specialized with our second purchase and bought in a surrounding suburb. If you want more details on that specific purchase, I've talked about the financials on a previous video. I'll leave it down in the description section below. In summary though, we used 3 years worth of equity to purchase that second property. Although that second property had recently been renovated over the last couple of years, it was still built over 30 years ago and a lot of work needed to go into the exterior. So we did do some renovations and obviously had to furnish the entire property this time around. With a bit of elbow grease and $10,820 later, the property was in tip-top shape for guests to stay. And to fully furnish it, it costs around $14,931. Again, this was another 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom townhouse, just so you can gauge the furnishing costs. We did however splurge a little to get some key pieces of furniture just for some good photos. I like to factor in everything that we spent on that renovation in the cost of the initial setup, regardless of the value that it might have added to the property. So all up, we're out of pocket of $25,751. And as I said previously, I like to treat these as individual businesses, so that first property's profit of $3,325 doesn't count. We've now been up and running for just shy of 3 months, with an 86% occupancy rate spread over 5 bookings. 70 nights worth of stays at an average of $110 per night. Our average income per month is $2,882, including those cleaning fees, and the average running costs is $1,780, resulting in a monthly net profit of $1,124. It is still very early days for this business. However, we have managed to reduce our setup costs from $25,751 down to $22,621. And at that current rate, we should have paid off all of the renovations and furnishings within 1.5 years, whilst it's still been paying for itself and accumulating capital growth, hopefully at the historical rate of 10.34% per annum. Although remember that this total setup costs hasn't taken any tax deductions into consideration, or the amount that we could currently sell all of the contents for. Now, for that total of $5,500 per month part, these two on average since we started running them together in unison has brought in $5,619 per month of income, and we are fully booked out for the next 2 months, with a gross income of $5,309 next month and $4,964 for the following month. The best part of this though is these future bookings are month or longer stays, so there's less work required for us to look after them. Of course, there is still a lot more work required than traditionally renting them out, but let's run through these passive income numbers over the same period since being set up. Our first property had a rental appraisal of $400 to $420 per week. Over the same 9-month period, it would have generated $16,380 worth of income. Running costs without gas, electricity, water and a cleaner would have been $1,547 per month, totaling in $13,923 worth of outgoings, generating a total of $2,457 of profit, so $868 shy of the net profit we've made off Airbnb so far. But remember that net profit also includes the setup costs. So looking forward, we should be on average making $1,297 of net profit per month, compared to $273 from typically renting it out. And mind you, this is factoring in for 100% occupancy rate and excluding any rental listing costs or ongoing property management fees. So let's say I had traditionally rented it out, with advertisement fees at $198, professional photos at $125, a lease board of $132, a floorboard plan of $115, an admin fee of $5.50, who knows why, an end of financial year statement at $33, and a leasing fee at 1.1% of the rent of the year would have been $240. This in total, the initial setup costs would have been $717. And a management fee at 6.6% would have been $120 per month. Over the same 9-month period, this was a total of $1,797 for property management costs. Broken down, that's $199 per month, and a total gross profit of $273 per month. Overall, we'd still be positively geared at $74 per month. In my opinion though, this doesn't compare to that $1,297 of income generated from Airbnb. Our second property had a rental appraisal of $380 to $400 per week before we had done any renovations. So let's just say we didn't do any renovations and we rented it out for $400. Over the same 3-month period, it would have generated $5,200 worth of income. The running costs would have been $1,347 per month, totaling in $4,041 of outgoings and $1,159 of gross profit. Remember though that the same applies here with the rental cost demonstrated before. All in all, we obviously would have been much better off than being in negative $22,622 that we still owe for paying off by setting up an Airbnb. However, we are generating on average $1,124 worth of net profit per month, compared to $386 of gross profit from typically renting it out. And this doesn't take into consideration the added value to the property because of that renovation. Have you had a success or a horror story from Airbnb out an investment property? I want to hear all about it. Leave it down in the comment section below. I was a little skeptical about sharing the success and financial figures from our Airbnb adventure, and always thought that if others started an Airbnb, it would increase the supply on stock available to stay at and ultimately lower our nightly rates. Then my neighbor, literally right next door on the same block, decided to Airbnb out their property due to the success that we had had. And I was honestly so happy for them and tried to help them as much as possible to get up and running. I realized that only one group could stay at our property each night. We had numerous requests come through for the same dates, and I'd rather share the guests with my neighbor so that we can both benefit rather than them staying somewhere else. I also realized that with more Airbnbs in the area, it would ultimately bring more views and click-through rates to our listings. And as long as we kept up our 5-star rating and plus listing, we'd hopefully be one of the most desired places to stay. At a macro level, there was already thousands of rooms available to stay at local hotels, and we were still getting some preferred bookings. Given Airbnb's phenomenal growth, with more places to stay coming on the site, it should technically bring on more users. A word of caution here though, there's a lot to consider before presuming you can purchase an investment property and successfully Airbnb it out. Things such as quality standards, setup costs, and government regulations all play their individual parts. I cover some of these in my previous video, Should You Airbnb Out Your Investment Property, which I'd highly recommend you watch if you're considering starting an Airbnb. I'll leave it down in the description section below. As always, seek your own professional financial, legal, and property investing advice for your current situation. These videos are just my opinion and general in nature and should never be considered as personal advice. If you're keen for more content, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you don't miss a video. And until next time, happy house hunting.